Hello YouTubers, Rick Poulin here with another motorcycle adventure trip to the Green Mountain National Forest in Vermont. I left in the middle of the week, I think it was a Wednesday afternoon in late August, just before the Labor Day weekend, and headed out on my trusty steed, my BMW R1200 GS. It's taken me everywhere from islands off Maine to Montreal and to Morin Heights, Quebec. And this time I was enjoying a little scenic ride to the Green Mountain National Forest in Vermont. So here I'm outside, I think, Concord, New Hampshire, somewhere around there, getting some gas for my leisurely ride over to the Vermont state line. The whole trip from Scarborough, Maine to Vermont was about 3.5 hours. I left immediately after having breakfast at my favorite stop, the Egg and I in Scarborough, Maine. At any rate, I'm here across the Vermont border, and the first thing I notice is the many lakes, rivers, and covered bridges in the state of Vermont. They sure have a lot of them, as you'll see in a few minutes. Not all the bridges in Vermont are covered, but I believe later on in the video you'll see Scott Bridge, the longest span wooden bridge in the state of Vermont. And I think I cut over to the river just so you could see how wide it was. But this is not it. This is a bridge somewhere just crossing over to the Vermont border. But as you can see, it's pretty nice little bridge there, and there were many of them. Here I am just heading, I believe, on Route 30 in Vermont, if memory serves me right. And I come up across this tavern across the street named Rick's Tavern. Maybe that's a sign of my next career in my future life. But anyway, I continue on down, just enjoying August in Vermont, with the many lakes, rivers, and just driving through the small town villages of very easy, laid-back life in Vermont, kind of like the way I like it. But anyway, as you can see here, not going too fast, just enjoying the ride. As I mentioned before, Vermont has many lakes, rivers, mountains, just a really natural beauty state. And I didn't stop at this bridge here, but I do recall passing a pull-off where I could have taken some great pictures, but I had a destination to get to, so I didn't make a whole lot of frequent stops along the way. Maybe once or twice an hour for 5 minutes here and there, just to take a break, take off the helmet. It was a hot day today, but not too hot. Temperatures for this trip were probably around the 70 to 80 degree range, so not bad for the month of August. And as you can see, as I mentioned earlier, here is Scott Bridge. Right now you can't cross it. You can cross it on foot, but no vehicles are allowed. I don't know if that's the condition of the bridge, but as you can see, it's a pretty wide river that this old covered wooden bridge spans, so it was kind of neat to look at. And there we go. You can see how wide that river is. Lots of fun stopping and looking at that. So as we continue on down the road here, the GPS is telling me to take a left down this road, and As you'll see throughout this video, the paved roads turn into dirt roads, as very often is the case. People of Vermont are pretty rugged folks. I remember seeing some signs that some dirt roads aren't maintained in the mountain areas here in Vermont during the months of October through May. So a lot of folks own trucks, four-wheel drives, and it's just the way of life up here in this natural wooded setting. The Green Mountain National Forest is mostly unpaved roads and dirt roads, but as you'll see, it does turn into paved roads in some areas. Here I'm just pulling over here, admiring the wooded setting and just enjoying being in the forest and traversing down these roads here, having a look at the forest scenery and enjoying the landscape. I stopped to take a few pictures of the surrounding area, and again, pretty nice day. Temperature's not too hot. Bike's doing well. No problems on this trip at all with the motorcycle. Just enjoying my time here in the great state of Vermont and all its natural settings. Many of the bridges that you see are well constructed. The state of Vermont seems to build really nice bridges over these culverts and things, which I imagine get pretty full of water to capacity during the rainy season. But here in the month of August, not too much rain at all this trip. None to speak of, really, and it seems like these culverts and things are pretty dried up at this point. Maybe because of it's during the month of August, very dry. But as you can see, doing really well here. Technology is great once it's all plugged in, and I think I have everything under control now. Phone is charging, GPS is on. Hard to get lost. Here we are, traversing down the road again and coming up to a fairly open area that, well, as you can see, turns to pavement here. As I traversed down this road, I noticed a very scenic park, very well maintained, well kept by the state here, and appears to be a dam or a reservoir. I was going to continue on, but I decided, well, it was time for a little break anyway, so I'll just pull over. It didn't seem like it was fairly packed with people. Of course, it's I'm making this trip during the middle of the week, so not a whole lot of people out and about. But yeah, it looks like a nice little area to maybe take a little break, pull off here, and enjoy the view from one of those picnic tables that you see. So I think I'll just turn the bike around and pull over for a little while. I did bring the DJI Mavic Air drone with me, so I was thinking about, since this area is a little open, I would launch the Mavic Air drone, check out this area. I did happen to talk to the one person that was parked here. It was a nice lady that was walking her dog, and she said that she came to this area quite often to walk her dog. It's very scenic, very well kept. At no time did I see really any kind of garbage or trash laying around anywhere I went. So whoever maintains this park area is doing a fantastic job. So I put the drone up here and just kind of flying around and checking it out for a few minutes, taking a little break from driving in the forest. It appears I'm the only one here at this point. But again, like I said, it's during the middle of the week, so not too many people out. Aerial view from the top as I fly over the park area. And I think it's time to bring the drone in and pack it up and be on my merry way. So here I am landing the quadcopter and getting ready to take off. I'm just really loving the scenery here, you know, with the water and the mountains and perfect sunny day. I guess for a motorcyclist it just doesn't get any better than this. Again, the temperature is probably in the mid-70s here that I can remember. Just a really enjoyable trip, a really nice day to be out on the bike, enjoying the sights and sounds. This part of the bridge was a little scary. Not that I was afraid of anything. It was a short span, but pretty high up in the air there. Big, deep ravines seem to be just a natural part of this state. Wherever you drive around, you see the ravines off to the side and a lot of green. Just waving to a fellow motorcyclist there. Didn't see too many motorcycle drivers, but did see a few. Crossing another span. Just a beautiful state. If you have a motorcycle and you live in Vermont, nothing can go wrong, I guess. Again, the GPS is taking me off the paved roadway here. Getting my bearings, I pulled over to check the GPS, and I am on the right road. So it's just the way it is in Vermont. Sometimes they have you cut down a mountain road. I don't really know if I'm in part of the Green Mountain National Forest here, or one of the local mountains that's in the area. This could be Mount Putney, or Putney Mountain, but I wasn't quite sure. That Green Mountain National Forest is a huge forest, covers a lot of area. So here I am, just following the GPS and looking for my lodge, actually, where I was going to spend the night tonight. It's got me going through this mountain road here, so on a motorcycle, who cares? It's a lot of fun. I'm just really enjoying the ride. Every once in a while you gotta stretch your legs, stand up on the pegs and look over the side of the road there. In some of these places it gets pretty hairy. But I'm not going very fast. Kind of keeping it slow, taking my time. Just enjoying the forest. Again, I'm surprised of the lack of traffic here. I think I did see maybe 2 or 3 cars come through on these mountain roads here. Not quite sure. At least 2, I think. But yeah, again, just enjoying the nice solidarity of being by myself, going on a solo trip through the state of Vermont and the Green Mountain National Forest. Having a great time. At this point, I'm coming across the I guess one of the state rescue fire marshals who kind of patrol the roads here on occasion, just to go through and see if everything is all right in the woods. But yeah, no problems. The road's a little ruddy, if that's a word. Not having really any issues with the motorcycle. It's handling itself pretty well. Basically on this one, I just steer the thing. Pretty much does everything by itself. See another driver in a car here. And I slow down to take this corner. The road is full of ruts and sand. There's sand on the road and dirt mixed. Again, I have street tires on the bike. I don't really have the type of tires that you really should be riding in the woods with. I'm going to do something about that soon. Before I make my next trip, I think I'll be leaving in a couple of weeks to Rockland, Maine, and taking the ferry back over to a revisit of Vinyl Haven Island, of which I'll do a little filming there and probably flying the drone. So that'll probably be the next video that I post here. But yeah, just enjoying all the nice view. The forest, the mountains, the streams, the lakes, the rivers. Just a real nice place to ride a motorcycle. I remember seeing a lot of farmland. Farming seems to be big in Vermont. Just waving at some locals here. Life on the farm is pretty good in Vermont. Again, it's just the laid-back lifestyle. Kind of suits me really well. And there you go again, the road going from dirt to pavement. And here I am just pulling into the lodge where I stayed. I think it's called the Lodge at Three Rivers, or the Lodge at the River. But spent a couple of nights here, a very comfortable inn in the Green Mountain National Forest area. I believe it's Newfane, Vermont. I'm not quite sure. Again, I've never been through this area before. I've been through the state, but not in this area. And after taking a little rest, I decided it's a nice, bright, sunny day. I think I'll set the drone up and put it in the air and take a few snapshots and video of the area behind the lodge, which is up in the Vermont mountains. So, very beautiful state. If you get a chance and you've never been here before, I highly recommend you visit Vermont. I imagine in the wintertime it's ski mecca, but in the summer times it's just nice to, whether you're on a motorcycle or whether you're in a car or a Jeep or a truck, it's still very nice. And as you can see here, very mountainous country, just very nice area to be in. Really having a good time on this trip. Now before I set the drone up in the air, I always check my app on my phone. It's called Before You Fly, just to make sure there's no air restrictions. When you fly a drone, especially in public areas, you need to check that there's no nearby airports or things like this. And I always get permission from the innkeepers if I decide to fly, to get their permission. I don't want guests complaining, hey, there's some guy out there with a drone. A lot of people don't know a lot about drones, so I think it's just common courtesy to let the management know that you're out there, you know, on their property flying a drone, and you're not going to hurt anybody. So once I got his approval, I just went ahead and flew the drone around the lodge and surrounding area. There's the old trusty steed. Taking the luggage bags off, they call panniers, and I cover the bike at night. We did have one night where there was rain, so it's always good to cover the bike unless you want to sit on a wet motorcycle in the morning. But there you go, short trip to the Green Mountain National Forest in Vermont. I hope you enjoyed the little clip. Thank you.